Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk about concentric listening. And this is from the book, The Way of Music, Creating Sound Connections in Music Therapy. If you don't have it, you can purchase it online. You don't need the book to do what I'm going to talk about right now. You can do this on your own. So what concentric listening is, that's a term I coined a while back. Before I wrote the book, I would lead groups in this listening experience. And it's really a 5-part listening experiment or experience that I guide people through, but you can do this yourself. So I'm going to tell you how to do it, and I recommend that you try it and maybe report back to us here in the comments below, or tell me if you have any questions or what your experience was. But I've done this experience and I find it to be very helpful with regard to increasing your awareness of what's around you. It kind of, in a way, it relates to mindfulness practice. It would fall under the music mindfulness category as well. So it's a musical experience. It's mostly a listening experience. I like it as a awareness, tuning in experience to get us focused on deep listening, and therefore paying focused attention, and because music starts with listening. You know, being a musician is really more about listening than it is about just playing, right? If we know how to listen and we take what we hear into consideration before we start playing, what we play is going to be more meaningful. Hopefully it'll be more relevant, it should be more meaningful, it should create better relationships, especially of course when we're playing with other people. So here's what you can do to take yourself through a basic concentric listening experience, or if you're a group facilitator, you can use this to guide other people through a listening experience. I'm going to read a little bit from the notes I have here, but basically you're going to start by bringing everybody or yourself into a comfortable environment, one where you won't be bothered. You know, you have time to do it. I would say set aside at least 5 minutes. You don't need a lot of time for this, but make sure you can be somewhere where you're not going to be interrupted for at least 5 minutes, maybe 10. Relax, make yourself physically comfortable, leave all your thoughts behind, your to-do list and your whatever you're thinking about, and just focus on you can focus on your breath or your body or something in the here and now, some sort of sensation that can help bring you into the present moment. So basically what you're going to do from that point is you're going to start by bringing your attention and focus to the sounds that are closest to you or nearest to you. And I would say even inside of you with your breath, right? As we talked about focusing on the breath. And many meditation practices actually start or are centered in focusing on the breath. So we could start there. You can start to tune in to the sound of your breathing. Maybe you could feel or imagine the sound of your heartbeat. Sometimes if you plug your ears, you can actually hear the sound of your pulse. But you certainly have sounds right on your person, right? The sound of your clothes rubbing, or the sound, if you have longer hair, I don't, but if you have hair, maybe it's the sound of your hair brushing across your ear, right? So all the sounds that are either inside or right on your person, right here, where you are. And then, I talk about these in terms of rings of sound awareness. You're going to move a little farther out, maybe over there where the dog is, a few feet away, or a meter away. 1 to 2 meters, maybe 3 meters away. So in your immediate area, and if you're sitting in a group, that would be people next to you, or things around you. It could be a bee that's in the vicinity. Any of those little sounds that are sort of in your basic area. And every time you focus on these sounds, you're going to spend a minute or so really taking all that in and focusing on just that area, not everything, just that area, or that ring, if you will. Okay, then you're going to move out a little bit, so the things that are near you, and then the next ring, which I would say would be things in your general vicinity, so maybe up to, I don't know, 10 meters away, and so forth. The next ring after that would be kind of like, let's say your neighborhood, or within a I don't know, a quarter mile, or I don't know how many kilometers that, half a kilometer or something. You know, things that are kind of maybe like over there, I just heard a motorcycle rev a little bit, or, you know, things like that. So kind of out there a little. And then finally, you could extend that to the horizon, right? And earlier, when I started this, I was hearing an airplane overhead. I could be hearing distant freeway hum or noises. I could be hearing sounds that are, you know, passing airplanes or things pretty far away. And I'll say, listen as far away as you can. And you can even imagine listening all the way out as far as you can hear. And that would be the absolute farthest distance of your perception. And then once you get to as far away as you can imagine, then start to back it up a little bit. You don't have to spend as much time, but just hold that. And I would say, imagine that you're keeping your awareness at the edge. You've gone through each band or each ring individually. Now you're going to keep that one, add the next one in. So back up, whatever your, you know, distance away you chose was. You're going to back it up, but you're going to keep the farthest one, then add, let's say, the fourth ring to the fifth, and then you're going to add the third. You're going to add the second, which was just in this general area, and then you're going to add the first back in, which is yourself. And you're going to try to remain aware of all of that. And you're doing all this with your eyes closed. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, you can just keep a soft gaze, maybe on an object, or just like an out of focus gaze. The point of that is to maintain your focus on what you're hearing and you're perceiving. So once you've done all that, you've gone from in to out and then out to in, but keeping all of that, then open your eyes and kind of come back, you know, into a normal state of being, typical state of being, and see how you feel and see what the difference is, and just check in with yourself and see if your perception has changed at all. And I believe it will, because every time I do this, it does. And that is what I would say is putting yourself in an enhanced state of awareness with regard to listening and perception around you. And like I mentioned earlier at the beginning, this is very much a music mindfulness practice. This is about using your sense of hearing, not exclusively, a little bit of feeling, you know, kinesthetic, and maybe touch, you know, what you're touching, what you're feeling, and some of your other senses possibly, to heighten your awareness and become like a super listener, become super aware of what's around you. So if you can do that, that's a practice. It's in the book. It's called Concentric Listening. It's experiential number 5 on page 31 of The Way of Music, Creating Sound Connections in Music Therapy. And a lot of these are preparatory experiences. So this is just an exercise. It's not music making, but it's making your way into music a little more deeply and with a little more attention. And I'm curious to know what your experience of this is. So if you do that, try it out. If you want, you can make a recording of the prompts for yourself, and maybe have a little recorder nearby that just reminds you what to do if you don't remember it all, or you can have a piece of paper or something. It's not that hard. I think most of us can remember how to do that. Try it out and see how it is. See what happens. If you'd like, you can contact me and let me know, or if you have any questions, you can contact me about that and let me know how that is. All right? I'm Kalani. This has been another installment for The Way of Music, Creating Sound Connections in Music Therapy. If you don't have the book, you can get that on Amazon or through a few of the resellers of music therapy literature. Also Sarsen Publishing, sarsen.com. And thanks for watching.